is create a new folder or start my design right there. But for this workshop, I'm just gonna start the design right there. You guys could feel free to ask me questions at any point during this presentation, right? So my Untitled page, I will go ahead and save this, and I could give it the name fan model. And here I could click where I want to save it. So here is the project fan, but it's already set to location fan. So I can just click OK, and it's saved as fan model. Right? In Fusion, we have several workspaces, which include design, generative design, render, animation, simulation, manufacturing, drawing. But we'll be only dealing with the design workspace today. And in the design workspace, we can deal with solids, surfaces, sheet metal, and we also have tools, right? But majority of the times when you start off, you either do solids, or if you want to design something organic, you can go to the create form, where you could actually drag faces, make organic looking models with some real sweet curvatures. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is run through the process. In designing a fan, the first thing I want to do is like create a sketch. So I could go to front and create sketch. So from my create sketch, I can go to the I can select my origin and click circle. So I want to set my circle to about 60 millimeters diameter. I click there, but you have these options, a whole host of options. You can, instead of circle, even have different types of circles, but I'm just gonna stick with the diameter. And from there, what I can do is I want to generate my blade. So I'll click finish sketch, and what we do is draw on planes, right? Every sketch you do, we're doing it on a plane. Right now, I'm on the base plane at the front, but I can turn to the side and I can do an offset plane. I can click offset plane. So I want to offset this center plane to the top of my sketch. So I can offset it, and here's the options. You have the plane, you select the plane, and you can offset it to distance, or you can click to object, but I want to click to object. So apparently, yeah, I can't select my sketch. So I'll have to work with distance, and I'll select 30 millimeters. So I offset it to the tip of this circle I've just drawn, right? In the fan design, I can start drawing on this plane. I want to go ahead and sketch on this plane, but before I go ahead to sketch on this plane, over here we have the the files, the specifics of the files. What I can do is start a new component just to make everything organized, and I can name this component blade, right? And here's the parent body. Usually when you start a new component, the parent body is set to whichever component is currently active. And how you know when a component is active is this little circle down here, you'll see a dot inside. So currently my fan model is active, which is the entire fan that I'm doing, right? So I can set a that is the parent material, the parent body, and I click OK. And here a new component is generated, and it is now active. So you see the circle has no dot for the fan model, but the the blade is currently active, right? So I can go ahead and sketch on a plane, but first I'm gonna just activate my fan model because the offset plane is within the construction section of the base the base component. So from there, I go click create sketch. I want to start designing the blade base, the root. So I can go there, and now first thing I'm going to do is just have like a sketch of the length, which is front to back. So let me just set it to 30. I draw a line, a 30 line, and I could put up another line and select OK. Right? So just so you see what's going on right there. And basically airfoils, you have like a fillet, the leading edge is kind of rounded, the trailing edge is also rounded. So I can create a sketch. I want my leading edge to start from this circle and end at this point. So instead of having a circle which is center diameter and placing there, I can do a circle which is a 2-point. I can have a 2-point circle, start it at the tip, and let me just set it to 3 millimeters diameter. And I can have another 2-point circle. And I'm gonna set my trailing edge a little smaller, so 2 millimeters. Boom. And now I can go for the thickest part of my blade, which I'm gonna place somewhere over here, just say somewhere over here, and it's gonna be 4 millimeters. Okay, now from there, I want to generate the airfoil, which is the blade profile, in a sense, the root profile. So I can go to arc, have a 3-point arc, set my first point there, my last point here, and my center there. Another cool thing about Fusion is you don't have to go up to your to this bar. You can left click and you have a whole host of options. But for now, I'm gonna do the repeat 3-point arc, place, end, center. And there you have your profile. Okay, now I don't know, everyone can hear me? Not sure. Anyways.
We hear you.
Okay, lovely. But you see, it's kind of, it doesn't really look that well.
Right.
So what I can do,
Can you stop for a second? Can you stop for a second? All right. I'm
yep.
gonna say it. You're actually moving way too fast. Giant pointed out. You're actually
Okay.
moving way.
Tell me where you trying. Tell me where you lost me.
Okay. Let me put it this way. Like again, you didn't lose me, but I already realized right away that like for example, I think at navigation you lost when you held the view for the first time. You lost some persons because they when at least when I try to start 3D software, navigation is always my first issue. Giant, do you have the program open with you right now?
Yep, I have the circle.
Okay, you have the circle. Can you navigate properly? As in, can you move the circle around and take a look at it from different sides?
Yeah, I can. I can move it around.
Okay, do you know how to use the view cube on the right corner?
Can you guys keep your mic on, please?
Not exactly. This is the first time I'm actually using it. I only downloaded it today.
Okay. All right. So let me just go back to my circle. Where is it? Undo 2-point. Undo all of this. Here's where you are.
Yeah.
You're with the circle.
Can you tell us about navigation in terms of using was it the middle mouse button and the view cube?
All right. With Fusion, provided that you have everything set to default, you can click your mouse, your center mouse button, the wheel. You click and hold to move around.
Pan.
That is a pan. Well, sort of. Yeah, it is a pan. Right? Everyone got that? You tried it?
Yeah.
All right. So from my pawn function, what I can do is click Shift and then also click my center mouse button to go into free orbit. So you can do, like, here's your view cube. You can make your bearings. You can get your bearings from there. So I hold Shift and click my center mouse button, and you get a feel for where you are on the sketch looking at the view cube.
Joyan, your mouse has a middle wheel, right?
Um, I'm using my keypad.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's
Uh,
okay. It's okay. Like I'm following from what Shepherd's doing. I'll figure out a way to understand it a little later. But I'll just follow. It's okay.
yeah.
All right.
But I'm just pointing out. Generally speaking, when it comes to 3D software, it's pretty much mandatory you use mouse. I mean, you can get away with the keypad, but it's not built primarily built with that in mind.
All right. Let me just run through back my bar. So in the design workspace, we have your create, and you could create a sketch. You can extrude sketches, revolve sketches, sweep, loft, all that sort of stuff. Or you can start a design from a primitive, like a box, a cylinder, a sphere, right? So what I did is I created a sketch of a circle, which is the outline of the hub, right? You can also click, just for people that don't know about the view cube, you could also click parts of the view cube to get to different parts of, your entire design. And click home to have this little view, this home view, right? So remember, middle wheel to pan, shift and middle wheel to free orbit. Okay? So you on that section, Bobby, Joanne?
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
It's
You
nice.
remember how
It's nice using the
Yeah,
cube.
I'm using the navigation tool on the side.
Yeah, use the
yellow.
cube. Use the cube on the right. That'll
Yeah,
work.
it's pretty nice to use that. All right. You remember how I offset my plane? Go to construct, offset plane. Once you click it, you select the plane. These three planes are only visible when origin. Well, most of the time, if you don't click offset plane, you can make them visible by setting your origin to on. Here you could set if you want to see it or not. You want to make it invisible. These are my origin planes, right? So what I did was offset, and I clicked the rear, the bottom plane, and I offset it to the tip of the circle.
Okay,
You good with that?
so what you did is, again, here's another way to do it, right? You try using only the view cube from navigation. It'll make it easy for person to follow. So yeah, click the home like
Okay. All right. So I click on the right. I click construct offset. So I can click just above the right. There's a little view that is like at an angle, top and right, and I can select my bottom plane. Click offset, right? Select the bottom plane. I could also drag it up to a certain, or I can set the distance manually, right? But set it to 30. And you click OK, and provided that constructions are visible, you're gonna see this plane. You can also do a click down to see the constructions, so you make the plane visible. Everyone with me there?
I guess.
You good with that?
I'm okay. Joyan, how you feeling?
Okay, so I'm in the offset tab, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the option that you have where you could adjust the length. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't found that yet.
Okay, you clicked offset. Oh, you're like this.
Never mind, never mind. It came up. I got it.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, we
sometimes
can keep going now.
you're like this. You gotta select the plane before it comes up.
Yeah.
All right. So I offset my plane to 30 because it's a 660 millimeter diameter circle. Offset it to the top, which is 30. And now I can go ahead and draw. I want to start a sketch on this plane. So what I go is to create. You can hit create. You can hit create sketch because it's like default on the bar. Hit create sketch, and when you do the create sketch, your planes will show up, and I can hover over to the plane here, or I can go into construction, the plane that I've generated, and just select that one, which is 30, the 30 millimeter plane above my origin. So your screen's supposed to look like this if you're viewing it from the right. You good with that? How you doing, Bobby?
I'm fine. I'm
Anyone else with
I,
Fusion? Fanaz, you following?
Yeah, Piasi and I were here. We're following, except our box is not like connected. It's like maybe the dimensions are different. I think he
You're
could
what?
continue because we're recording it and we can always revisit it. I
Oh,
think he
okay.
should
All right.
continue, and because we're
So
recording it, we can always revisit.
yeah, sure. Okay. So I started a sketch. Remember, I clicked create sketch and I selected my plane 1. What you can do is just to make everything easier, you can click on plane in construction. Your page is supposed to look like this. Click on construction, click on plane, and then you can click it again to rename it. So I'm just gonna say offset. Well, plane. I can leave it as plane. I'm just gonna call it plane X. Right? So you click on it again. You get a rename. You get the rename feature, and you rename it. So everything is just made easier throughout the design.
oh, somebody's asking us something. So they're saying, "Good afternoon. How does anyone have access to the University of Guyana email? How do we access the educational license?"
Okay, the educational license you need a document to prove that you're currently a student. I don't think UG currently sending out confirmation letters right now. So the best option you got is to go with the personal account. Go into Autodesk, select Fusion360 personal, and you download that one. And whenever you get your confirmation letter, you can switch your account to educational.
Yeah, it used to be free, but a bunch of nonsense happened.
It is still free. It's just
Yeah,
you need to do a lot more paperwork.
yeah, exactly. Before you continue,
All
Shepherd,
right,
let me I want to ask
lovely.
something.
So
I'm gonna disrupt a little. I want to ask something.
yeah, sure.
So that thing at the left corner, it says
My
fan
sketch
model
palette.
V1. Okay, so fan model V1 is a representation of like this is like a document structure, basically everything
Oh,
we're working on.
yeah, all the parts. Well, everything on the fan model
Mm-hmm.
is either a component, construction, sketches, origin, or bodies.
All right.
You could also have joints and those type of stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
It's usually
But you can
called a
create
file tree.
several. I didn't get that, Matish.
It's usually called a file tree.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yeah, Matish is good with names. A file tree.
Okay, so this file tree. So I see in the file tree. Look, can we just run through the file tree so at least I get some semblance understanding what this stuff is.
All
So
right.
I
So
see
the first
document
one,
settings. Yeah.
yeah, you could set your units for the entire document here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Then your name views. I don't really use this much. I never really had to. But from there is your origins, which is these.
Yeah, if you click the I, that allows you to see it.
Yeah, you could turn it off, switch it on and off with the eyes. And you have your sketches.
Do all sketches save in that same file?
No, it depends if you create a component. Like if I go to create, well, I'm currently in Sketch.
Yeah, come on to the sketch.
But if I go to new component, like I did with my blade, you see my blade here is a component.
Yeah.
It's not like the rest of these. It's a new component. I
Interesting. Yeah,
activate this.
it's a cube, and the icon is different. It's a cube.
Yeah. So if I activate this, any sketching that I'll do will be on the blade. It won't be in my general sketches.
Okay. Oh, and construction has its own file.
Construction, yeah, all your planes, all your offset planes, those type of things, everything on the construct will be filled into construction.
Okay. You see that same
Generally,
that document tree, what limitations called folder tree, document tree, whatever it is. That thing is always confused me.
oh, yeah. The longer you use Fusion, you get to understand it. It becomes like second brain right there. All right. So back to the sketch. From if I want to get back to my sketch, I know it's the last sketch that I did. I want to get back to. I can left click on here, and I can go to edit sketch. I click edit sketch, and it brings me back to the sketch plane that I was on. See at the top of the circle.
So every time you make a new sketch, it is saved.
It saves. Yeah. But if you don't want to create a new sketch to have another input on the document tree, another file there, or a section, a sketch section, you can go to one of these and you can continue a sketch, provided that it's the plane that you want to work on. You see, instead of starting to use
double click on sketch one. Let me see. I forgot. What was sketch one? Double click on sketch one. Let me see.
you click on it. Let's just see.
Well,
If I keep up,
you gotta come out to the current sketch, right? I think you gotta come out to the current sketch. Yeah, and I click on sketch one. Just double click on it. Go back as if you were editing the first sketch. What was the first thing we sketched?
circle.
It was a circle. Okay, so if you double click on that, we get back to see the original circle, and we can make changes to the circle we want.
You
So like how
you
far now
just click on it and you click edit.
Okay. So like how Farnas was saying that the size of her circle was wrong, she can click back on sketch one.
Yes, you can always change that. You can always change that. And the good thing about it, the nice thing about this is when you click that sketch and you went further down in your design, you can always come back to that sketch. Say you extruded something from the sketch, you can always come back to that sketch, change the size, and your extrusion size changes.
I think that's why we're using what's called parametric modeling, right?
Parametric, right? We're not in the direct. With the parametric, you have a history. If you're in direct, yeah, if you're in direct model, you can select do not capture design history. You have to go into the base model here, fan model v1, left click, do not capture design history, and this history will go.
Disappear.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys an idea, let's say for example, I model a person, right? And then I want to model a suit to fit the person. So I make one object that represents the person, and then I make another object that's like a shirt for the person. Now let's say I go back to the original person and I increase their width. I have to now go into the shirt I made for them on a normal like Blender, on a normal non-parametric modeling software. I would then have to go back to the shirt and then make the shirt wider. With the parametric modeling software, if I increase the size of one thing, everything else basically changes to match that thing. If that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, everything that is affected by what you're changing is gonna change. All right, so back to the sketch. I click line, and I drag out my line. it was what? 30? Yeah. I set it to 30. Good thing about this, you can, when you set it to 30, you can click tab and it moves to the angle. So you can select an angle. You could also click tab again to go back to set a new dimension, right? So you switch between your dimension and your angle. Well, your linear dimension and your angle through the tab, right? But I leave it at 90. And a good thing that you do when you're sketching is have constraints. So like here, this little icon here, it's a horizontal constraint. So I can remove this. I can click it and click delete. And the constraint is removed. So I can manipulate the sketch. But if I leave it like this, click my constraint, it applies the horizontal constraint to the line.
So
Understand?
so you just click it.
Click the line and click the constraint.
Or do you click the constraint then click the line?
Click the line and constraint. Sometimes, like for tangent, you can click tangent and then you go ahead to click. You see the tangent option is under my cursor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can click tangent and then you could go ahead, click in your lines, like the circle. You'll see just now when I go back to the profile. So to generate my the blade profile again, I'm going to create circle, 2-point circle, select, and place the first point on the origin. Set the dimension. I'm setting it to 3 millimeters. The nice thing about Fusion, we have this snap function. So I could just bring it somewhere close to center point and it snaps. You see that little blue X next to my cursor?
I see a little X.
Yeah. So you just click, it snaps to the horizontal line. Right? Click escape if you want to come out, like how it was in there just now with the circle. If I was to click somewhere else, it would create another circle. So I could click escape to come out to the circle feature. And that's if I want to go to draw a line or anything else, but I can left click on the screen and click repeat a 2-point circle. I'll put my first point there. I'll make this 2 millimeters in diameter. Click the horizontal line.
How am I supposed to eat this crab?
Understood?
You gotta break it to mash it up?
You with me?
I know I don't like it.
You can hear me, Bobby?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I came off a second. I have this crab and I'm not too sure how to eat it.
All right. John, you following?
Yeah, except mine doesn't look like yours, but like it looks like something, so it's good enough for me.
Okay.
All right. Continuing. I put another circle. I can do a center point circle and have my diameter set here to 4. But now my circle is intersecting a line, so I can drag it across. And generally with these profiles, the thickest part is like 1/3 of the entire length, right? My card length, which is from leading edge to trailing edge. Say I want to put the center of this circle 1/3 of this 30, right? So I can go over to this sketch section. I can click sketch dimensions and select my first point, which is the front, the leading edge, and the center of this circle, and drag up. There it places a dimension, but it has the dimension that it's currently at. What I can do is delete this, click my 30, this 30 right there, it's D3, and /3 divided by 3. and click enter. So it drags it to 1/3 of the turtle. Right? So it's currently at 10.
What? No, you just said it's a 10. You said dimensions are 10.
Yeah. But I did it with a function.
Oh.
Remember? Sketch diameter, well, smart diameter, leading edge, center of the circle, drag up,
Click.
place it there, delete, select the length, the total length up here, which is this turtle, divide it by 3, click enter.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's really nice. So I click escape and I could go back into my sketch. My sketches, select 3-point arc, place my first point on the first circle on the inside, second point, which is the end of the arc, zoom in, you use your mouse wheel to zoom in, and then place the middle on this circle.
Are you clicking randomly on the circles for the first and second point? Are you clicking just randomly anywhere?
Yeah, just click randomly. We'll fix this in a minute. And do a second one on the outside, somewhere on the outside, just a random place. And then place the center on the center circle again. You good?
I see it.
All right. So here's a nice part. Remember my tangent? I told you could select lines after you click a tangent.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I can select my arc and then the circle, and it places a tangent constraint there.
Does it matter which one you select? Do you select the line then the circle tangent, or do you select the circle then the line?
Well, if none of your sketches aren't let's see, fixed, sometimes it drags the line, sometimes it drags the circle. But a good thing to do is, once you're sure about the measurement, the dimensions of your circle, you can lock it. Click fix and fix the circle.
I don't understand. What is locking the circle do?
You lock it in place. The circle can't move at all. It's a constraint that locks whatever you draw into place, so you cannot drag it around.
Okay, so for safety, lock the circle.
Yeah. Lock the circle. You can lock all of them.
All right. Lock all the circles.
Yeah. And there, when you click tangent, it will adjust your line to the circle and not manipulate any of the circle. But none of these circles will be manipulated because this dimension here is a constraint. If you draw anything and attach it to the origin, it will be constrained to the origin, but you won't see an icon. It's a hidden constraint. This one might move, but I'm not sure. Just be safe and lock it. Right? So we already did the tangent to the inner part of the circle. Select tangent again, line, circle, line, circle. Oh, constraint was already applied. Once you see the mark, it's already applied. But this one isn't applied, so line, well, circle, line. It doesn't really matter which one you select first.
Quick question. How did you create the tangent again?
Up in your, once you're in Sketch, there's a circle with
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's tangent to it. Yeah, you just select that, and then you go ahead to select your lines.
Okay. All right, so let's wait for Jayan. We need at least one person following. I'm currently eating crab right now, so I don't I'm not
Join is not
drawing right now.
Oh. All right, fair enough.
I have a question too.
Yep.
Yeah, how PS and Abby want to know, how do you lock a profile?
Oh, okay. The fix icon up here in your constraints bar. There's a fix. Yeah, that lock,
Mm-hmm.
you could go ahead and click it. It turns your sketch green, so you know it's locked. You could also unlock it by clicking it again. But you have to make sure fix is selected. Fix or unfix is selected.
Got it. Thanks.
Lovely.
Wait, hold on. Because we're using this Google Meet thing, is it possible for people to share their screen?
I'm not sure.
I'm just asking. I want to see what other people are doing.
All right. So we will run into some issues later down if we leave these circles as active sketches. Well, an active profile, right? So what I like to do to make stuff easier is to make them construction lines. Construction lines with the dashed lines, they're not part of your profile, but your lines used for the profile construction, right? So I can click over my sketch palette. Your sketch palette is either like this. You can use the arrow to bring it up, but the first entry there is construction. So I click construction. Matter of fact, I click the line. Usually then click construction, right? Line, make construction, and it turns into a dashed line. Line, construction.
I get fed up with this thing. That's what
All right,
I get fed up. You know.
John, are you with me?
I bring up one select, one select.
Nope. Well,
Where are you?
doesn't look like yours as I mentioned. So I have the three circles,
Uh-huh.
but actually drawing the tangent line for some reason, whenever I click on the tangent and then I try to click on the circles, it's just adjusting the size of the circles. So
Did you lock your circles?
no?
Yeah. So try
Okay,
locking the
I'll do
circle.
that.
Yeah. All right. So from here, for John, I'll just mention it back when she's done. But we can go ahead, and since this is these are construction, these circles are construction, the ends are open. I want to close this sketch to make it a closed sketch. So it's basically a semicircle. I go to my arc and I can do 3-point arc. Click 3-point arc, one end where the line stops, the other end, and then any part on this circle. But you see, it's currently red. That's because I left construction on. I turn construction off and it's now blue. Right? I do the same thing, repeat, left click. Oh, last thing I did was construction. So I have to go back into arc, 3-point arc, start, end point, and then circle. And my sketch is now closed. How you know when your sketch is closed? You get that blue infill. But another profile line is running through my sketch, so I'll go ahead and make this a construction line also, so it doesn't affect my sketch much. So I can select the entire profile right now. You with me? All right. I'll just go ahead and lock this. All right. So that's an enclosed sketch. I can extrude this, or I can create another construction plane and repeat this sketch up there. So say I want to repeat this sketch because I want to show you guys the loft function. I'll go ahead, finish this sketch, click home just to get my bearings back, and construct, offset plane, go ahead, select the previous plane I was drawing on, select this one, and then I'm gonna just offset it to 30. Again, select enter, and I now have my offset. So what I can do now is click on this sketch. I could either go and find it in the tree, or click on the sketch, left click, and find edit sketch in the selection. And it brings me back. I can select, just highlight, you drag to select, and Control C, finish my sketch, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create a new sketch on this plane. Control V. So it pastes the previous sketch on the new plane. But I can just adjust. You could basically move around and adjust the however you want to place the sketch with the initial move copy that it gives you when you paste. So I can turn the sketch, let's say 32 degrees, negative 32 degrees. And I'm just going to use this square to free move. I'm going to place it right there. Select OK. There's my new sketch, placed at an angle. It's twisted 32 degrees from my initial sketch. Let's see, I'm supposed to be able to adjust the length of the profile. So let's just set it to 40. And there, it's adjusted. That's a good thing. You can also adjust. Let's see, back. Select these, drag them out, double click on them, and you could also adjust them. But I'm just going to leave it. And there we are. Everyone up to there? My second sketch. You good there, John? Fanaz, you good?
Yours looks nice.
With some time, yours will too. Don't worry. You just got Fusion. All right. So what I can do is finish this sketch. And I have 2 sketches. There. And just say I want to create a body that starts from this sketch and ends at this sketch. I want to use these profiles to generate a body. What I can do is loft the bottom sketch to the top sketch. So go over to create. There's a loft feature. Click it. And now you have the choice in profiles. You can click add. Select an enclosed profile, then select another enclosed profile, and you see it generates a loft. Okay? But the loft doesn't look good, doesn't it? So what I can do to fix this, just click cancel. And I'm going to add some rails to this. And how I go about adding the rails, I can just click sketch. I'm going to use a spline to add rails. Select any plane. This is the good thing about Fusion. On the sketch palette, at the bottom, there's 3D sketch, which allows you to sketch anywhere in 3D space. Right? So with 3D sketch selected on, I go to spline, and just go to the end of this this arc, and make sure the triangle is in view. Go somewhere around the center. The triangle means that it's about center. It is directly the center of that semicircle. Click it. Zoom out. I'm gonna pan over to the second one. Zoom back in, and click center of there. What I can further do is, place another point there, just to give it a little more curvature. Okay, it came out. Center, center. And when you're sketching something, you could see a little check mark down here. You could click it to end your sketch. So it looks like this. Your sketch looks like that. I can do the same thing for the back. There's my triangle. Triangle, where are you?
Does it have to be the triangle?
Well, the triangle marks the center. Yeah, there it is. Center. And center. There's another one just for some curvature. There. So now we got rails to perform our loft. I can go ahead and finish this sketch. Go back to the loft. Select my profiles. This one, this one. Here we have rails, and that's what we just generated. It tells Fusion what path I want to follow. It tells me that the loft intersects itself. All right, let me just redo it. Delete this one. Delete this one. I'm gonna redo. You can draw straight lines, but let's try it. Let's try it. Finish. Maybe because of the back angle, but let's see if it will loft now. Okay. It did loft, but it didn't loft nicely.
Bye.
Place there. What I'm gonna do is add another fit point. So left click on the spline, insert a spline fit point. I'll just say here. Supposed to be able, I'm not able to drag it. My God. Let me just repeat this loft, see what happens. If not, I'm just gonna extrude it up.
All right.
Which times are going? Yep, it's still doing the same thing. I know it's right, but here is where you gotta play around with Fusion, which we have no time for. Because sometimes your sketch, your features don't do what you want them to do. Maybe it's because the entire angle of my profile, but you get the point. You use a loft to bring, that's how I generated the fan blade, that I pasted the picture in Slack. So what I'm gonna do is just extrude this up, just for time's sake. I go to extrude, select this, and I can drag it up. Set a taper angle between. Yep. So I set a taper angle, which makes the top a little smaller. It tapers upward. And I'm gonna click OK. And there is, turn off sketches. There is my blade for the time.
Can you rotate that though? Can you rotate the top now?
I usually do my rotating with the loft feature.
Okay.
Yeah, but just not to make this this whole presentation a little too long, because with it gotta go. Yeah, I'm just gonna extrude it.
All right.
But you get the idea. You could rotate it. You can rotate your sketches and loft them to have a rotated body. Right? So I'm just gonna create the hub now. I have the sketch here already. So I can click extrude and drag back. But if I extrude this and drag back, it doesn't exactly touch the hub at all points. So cancel this. Click to edit this sketch. And change it to, I'm gonna go 65. Click finish. And you see it intersects. It cuts the blade. So now I could go ahead and extrude it. Extrude it way back here, but it's red, meaning that it is intersecting a body. So the default choice for any body intersecting another one is cut. I can change this to new body over in the extrude section. Change it to new body. And I'm gonna say okay for this new body. But it's a little too sharp. So let me just change the back. I can fillet the back. Go up to modify, select, modify, or you could just go click fillet, right? Fillet is generally up here, but you could go into the options, click fillet. My edge is already selected, and now I can set my fillet radius. I set this to 2, maybe 5. I've set it to 5. You can select your corner types and constant radius, but let's just leave it here. Click OK. I'm gonna go to my front, and here's what I want to generate this blade around the entire circle. So I can go over to create and select pattern, circular pattern. Select the type of the body that I want to make the pattern with. It is a body, yeah. So I select the object, the axis. It doesn't have to necessarily be the axis. I can also select the circle. It automatically selects the axis, the center of the circle. So I select the circle, and now I have 3 blades. I can have suppression on, so I can select which one I don't want to include, right? But with suppression on, I just want to generate maybe 20. And there we have 20. 20 blades generated around the hub. There it is. But now remember, my hub is intersecting the blades. So to get rid of that intersection, I want to cut out the part of the blade that the hub is intersecting. So I can go over to combine in modify, go to combine. My target body is here. My tool body, I can select this as my tool body, and it will cut this one blade. But a good thing to do before you even cut, before having to go ahead and combine each of these, is to combine to have the body cut the first blade and then do a pattern with the first blade. So all the blades are already flush with the hub. But I will leave it. I won't cut out. I won't cut out the base of these. I will just join it to the hub. Right? Let's select, no, I'm not gonna select keep tools. Okay. So this one is joined to the hub. I could do that for the rest. Target body. If that's the target body, go select my tool bodies. This, select all the blades. And have them join. There. And here comes the nose. So for the nose, I want to do a revolve because I don't really want to go and have generate a cone from a primitive feature. So let's just go ahead, turn to the right, and I'm going to say create sketch. I know a plane runs through the center of this hub, so I'm just going to select that plane. It shows there, if you can see the planes. So there's bottom and
it's orange by default, and when you're selecting it, like how you're selecting it right now, it becomes brown, I think.
What?
The plane. How when a plane is when you're hovering over a plane.
It becomes, yeah, you see it turns white.
Is that white or brown? What is that?
It looks like white.
Okay.
But you just select it. Well, it just indicates that you're hovering over. So you just select it, and just to make sure that you selected the right one, you could just flip around your sketch, make sure that this grid is running through center. And then I'm going to go back to the right. And a nice thing to do to make sure that I'm starting the sketch from the face of this hub is to go click S. S brings up the search function. And I'm going to do intersect. Intersect. And I'm going to select this face, the edge of this face. And when it does, it brings up two points where the face intersects the plane that I'm drawing out. So I'm gonna click OK. And I can turn off this body, and you see there it is, the 2 bulbs. So they're selectable.
How did you hide the fan? How did you hide the fan?
Yeah, remember my eyes that I told you about earlier? Just select it.
I mean, you could have clicked on that big eye that has blade 1. You could have clicked on that as well, right?
Yeah, but that will hide everything on the blade 1, which includes this sketch that I'm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just click on the body, the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turn off the bodies.
Right now, because
And now I can go to a spline. I like to use a spline because you got the freedom, that curvature freedom.
I can't hold on. Mom is
Make a cone. We're gonna make a cone, but you see it doesn't snap to this line, right? That's kind of an issue, but you could fix that by just hovering over origin and dragging back. And there's a dashed line there in the center that you will feel it, it's snappy. You see I can move my cursor around and it still snaps. Yeah, so whichever point you want to snap it in line with, just hover, just go to that point and drag to the point you want to snap. Click enter. Okay. And then I'm gonna do a line, put a line right back to origin from the end, and then put one back up to close the feature, that little profile. And now I'm gonna end this sketch and revolve this to make the nose cone. So go to revolve, select the profile, select the axis, which is I want to revolve it about its longitudinal, and there, cone generated. It's a new body. I can also select join, but I'm just gonna have it create a new body. And select OK, turn on back my fan. And there it is. Now for the end of this, I'm just bring this over to a close. I just want to make it look a little nicer. So I can construct an offset plane, look for the front facing plane. And I'm gonna offset it just in front of the nose cone. I'm gonna click OK. Start a sketch on this new plane. And then I'm gonna make a circle. Center diameter, center point, the diameter, set that to 5. Oop. And you could also do pattern with sketches. So I go down, select circular pattern, select the profile. My center point is my origin, so I select that, and it generates a pattern there. Change my quantity to 8, and I select OK. So there it is. Now I want to drag, I want to cut these holes, this pattern into my cone. Say I want to have a screw placed in there. I can just have this pattern cut into the cone. So I'm just going to click End Sketch. And you can do this cut with an extrude function. Because once something extrudes, remember earlier we were extruding the hub to the blade, through the blade. Once it intersects with another body, it starts a cut command. So I select all the circles, and then I drag back. You see? It creates a body. It's a new body right now, but as soon as I touch another body, it changes to cut. Okay, but what I can do is extend to, I can click all if I want to cut through everything. Or if I just want to cut through the cone, I can select my cone is not there. Anyways, what I could do to fix this is turn off my hub and select the to object, the object plane where I want to extrude to, and it's going to stop at the end of the cone. Click OK. There it is. Let me turn off all sketches, put back on my hub, and we have fan and a nose cone. And that is the end of the profile I want to generate. But a good thing which I didn't know until recently, Bobby taught me. First, I used to generate all my nuts and bolts and everything, but what you can do is click insert, and there's a McMaster car component. You can select, you could just type in the names of whatever you want to insert into your design. So I'm just select screw. Any socket head screw. I'm just going to select a random screw. And from the selection, I just choose the whichever one. They have different dimensions and specifications. But after I select one, I go to product detail and scroll to the bottom. You're going to have all the information for your design. So you can make provisions for it. I'm going to click step and save. After I click save, it's going to insert that screw into Fusion. So there it is, my screw. If I wanted, I could create a larger screw and place it in there. But once you click OK, your screw is placed. And that's about the end of our little introduction workshop. I will hand the session over to Vivek. Thanks, guys.
That was a lot for an introduction. Thank you,
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your name here and I was about to say Chester.
Oh.
Yeah. Bobby, any comments? Anything to add?
Okay, so this was a nice little workshop. I think we may have to do, this is just my personal opinion, you guys may disagree with me. I think we have to do a bit more of a, I don't want to say, I want to say follow-up, but it's more of a interactive follow-up. This was more of an instructional course. This is like the teacher shows you how to do it, and then now the students have to actually do it themselves, and we need a bit more follow-up on that, because some person may be lost halfway, some person may lost quarterway. So we will have
this is exactly why I linked the group to the Fusion360 Academy. They take you through everything.
No, but what I'm saying, like, we have a bunch of persons just come up with us, take a different day. Everybody logs in. We do the same screen share, and it'll be more of the session where we all try to build it. And then Jayan might say, "Oh, I'm stuck at this area. Bobby, help me." And then I'm sharing my.
Oh yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I could definitely do it.
So this was like the instructional part of the workshop, and we need to have the I don't know the official terminology. The part where the students are playing now, you could say.
An active session.
Yeah.
How about?
Yeah. So what that can be done some within other people's time or what. I like the overall workshop. I definitely learned a couple new things here. I'm kind of surprised that you can't extrude and rotate. That surprises me that you have to go through a lot to get the fan blades to tilt.
Yeah, there are lots of ways around. It's not necessarily one way of doing things, but it's just the way that I choose to do it. There are many ways to do one thing in Fusion.
So you're saying you can extrude and then rotate afterwards? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe you could search it on YouTube. I never did it before. Most of the times I do a loft.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, I got a little more freedom with the use of rails. You got a lot more freedom.
Okay. Fernand's saying something. Can you take a screenshot so you can post it on Facebook if you're okay with that, Shepherd?
Yeah, sure.
Are you saying that we need to take a screenshot, or you're going to take a screenshot, or?
Who's this? Fanaz, you speaking to?
Yeah.
I mean, I already took a screenshot, but I mean, Shepard could just take a screenshot of his thing so we can post it on Facebook and credit him. Marketing.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Shepherd, thank you again for that. And yeah, I like Bobby's idea of a more interactive session, because it's something that's very hands-on, and different people would have different issues as they interact with the program and try to follow
Yeah, gotta hand.
issues that would arise here. Pardon me, Bobby?
No, I was just saying have to hand hold everyone.
Yeah, basically. And as Shepard said, he shared a link to
Yeah, it's in the
a.
Slack. It's in Slack.
Okay. Yeah, so could follow up there. You could try your own stuff, of course.
Yeah,
You
of course.
could
Just
look at
play
the
around with
tutorials.
Fusion. You learn a lot of stuff just messing around with Fusion. Remember, it's not, you don't have to pay to mess around with Fusion. So you just do whatever you want.
And eventually you could build a plane around the turbine.
Exactly.
Okay, so next up, I see Farna said that our makerspace is finally free of beetles. So good job on that.
Yay! Thanks, Shepard. First of all, thanks, Shepard, for the session. I hope, Matt, you recorded it. And Mateus, you can post it to YouTube, and we can just share it with everyone in the Slack channel. So you guys can always revisit the tutorial session. And yeah, Monday, PS and I, we visited UGRC, and the cleaners came, and it was like 3 of them. And they just like wipe down everything, clean out everything. So the room was actually smelling clean afterwards. So that was good.
Good.
Y'all welcome.
Thank you very much. The beetles were a nice company, though.
Oh, update. There was on the AC unit outside, like what do you call it? The outside part. There was like a maribunta nest.
There what?